I never thought I'd get caught in a downpour like this. Looking around for a place to hide, I stumbled upon a small sidewalk tea stall. This is Hai Phong, the third largest city in Vietnam. As I sat there waiting out the storm, I couldn't help but notice the quiet anxiety in the vendor's eyes. She was a gentle, elderly woman, clearly living on a low income, just trying to make ends meet while the rain washed the streets outside. As the rain poured, the temperature dropped, and I grabbed a hot cup of tea to warm myself up. But man, I wasn't expecting it to be this strong. It had a real bite to it, bitter at first, but with a surprisingly sweet aftertaste. The rain has finally stopped, but the heavy clouds in her heart have yet to clear. The shop was pretty empty today, and she looked visibly sad. But the story behind her anxiety was even more heartbreaking. That's when we started talking and sharing with each other. She opened up to me about her worries, and how hard it's been to keep this small business going. She told me she's 69, or 70 by the traditional lunar calendar. An age when she should be home, surrounded by her children and grandchildren, not out here on the streets braving the elements to make a living. But that's life, isn't it? It rarely goes the way we want it to. As we kept talking, that strong, bitter tea started making my stomach churn. I instantly craved something sweet, so I grabbed a piece of peanut sesame brittle. It's funny how a simple candy turns out to be the absolute perfect match for a cup of hot tea. A piece of that peanut brittle only costs about 10 cents. It's hard to believe how something so cheap can bring so much comfort on a rainy day.
Hôm trước cháu đi cái đường Phạm Văn Đồng ở Đồ Sơn ấy.
As we kept talking, I began to truly understand the weight of her worries. You see, sidewalk vending isn't officially permitted here, and the local authorities have been clamping down and enforcing the rules much stricter lately. It's heartbreaking news for someone nearly 70 years old who relies entirely on this small stall. And the hardest part? The income from this, as she shared, is barely enough just to get by day to day. To cheer her up a bit, I shared some promising news with her. I told her how cities like Hanoi are currently looking into allowing sidewalk
Ý gọi là tượng trưng
businesses
thôi. Nhà
legally,
nước không
in
thu nhiều.
exchange for a very reasonable fee. Sure, it's still just a proposal and hasn't been officially passed yet. But at the very least, it shows that the government is starting to listen and truly care about the livelihoods of ordinary people.
400 một tháng thì đắt quá.
As we
Sao
kept
mà
chatting,
về
it got
bán
me
ở
thinking, so I asked her, if sidewalk vending were to be legalized right here, in Vietnam's third largest city, what kind of fee would she consider fair? And guys, can you guess what her answer was? $2 a month. That was her answer. And honestly, it makes total sense. This kind of livelihood is incredibly unstable, and your income changes with the weather. Take today, for example. She brewed a whole large pot of tea but only had a few customers like me. At this rate, the tiny profit she makes won't even cover the upfront cost of the green tea leaves.
Đấy.
Thôi bởi vì cô người ta đi qua đi lại đâu giỏi đâu mới có khách đâu đâu.
Tức là người ta chỉ muốn là nó nằm trong cái sự quản lý của người ta thôi, chứ còn về vâng, bà cứ yên tâm là phí sẽ không cao.
Life really isn't easy for low-income folks like her. But there's one thing about her that I deeply admire: her work ethic. She doesn't want to be a burden or just rely on her children. Maybe to her, honest labor is a source of pride, a small joy in her old age. Because sometimes, when you get older, having a chance to connect and talk with others is a necessity that goes far beyond just food and water.
Bây giờ cháu thấy chỗ này nó thoáng hơn đấy chứ.
Ngày này ngày thứ bảy chủ nhật đấy. Ngày thường nhiều xe lắm.
À, ngày thường cũng nhiều xe đấy à?
Nhiều, thứ bảy chủ nhật thì người ta nghỉ. Thứ bảy chủ nhật công sở người ta nghỉ, mà ngày thường từ Hải Dương là trước công an người ta xuống xã hội đâu Nam. Đó, tất cả hết cả cái chuyện đường này, đổ cả lên chủ nhật, đổ cả lên chủ nhà.
Just then, a vegetable vendor walked over to offer her produce to the tea shop owner. At first glance, it felt like a beautifully rustic, everyday scene, filled with that old-school countryside charm right in the middle of the city. But the reality was much heavier. The heavy rain had driven customers away, leaving the vegetable seller stranded with unsold goods. She was simply going around, trying to clear out her remaining bundles of greens. That's just how it is, the raw, unfiltered reality of making a living on the lower end of the income scale. It's never easy to share your struggles with a stranger, let alone talk about how much you make. But I learned that she earns less than $8 a day, and that's only on a good day when the weather behaves and crowds show up. On a rainy day like this, everything falls apart.
Vâng. Cho thấy là có trợ cấp cho người trên 70 tuổi mà. 70, 75 gì ấy, không nhớ.
As we kept talking, I was reminded of Vietnam's social welfare program for the elderly, which offers a stipend of about $20 a month. But unfortunately, she isn't old enough yet. Under the new policy, you have to be at least 75 to qualify. Even then, for seniors with no pension like her, that amount is still far from enough to survive. I ended up ordering a second cup of hot tea. Maybe the chilly rain was making my body crave something warm. But truth be told, I wanted another cup just so I could pay her a bit extra later. A small, quiet way to support her business. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more stories like this, please leave a like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and it really gives me the motivation to keep going out there and filming. Thank you so much.